All right. Good evening, everybody. It's another episode of Because I Felt Like a Podcast. It's Marcus. This is Nelson here with me. We're going to talk to y'all pretty much about recapping week 4 in the NFL and then kind of a special talk in regards to just the art of winning and what goes into it from a fan's perspective and also talking about it from just what you see amongst fans and in the NFL with teams and all that stuff. So that's where we wanted to go. So what's going on with you, Nelson?
No, man, happy to be here. Thank God for the night. I'm not working. So I'm able to be on the podcast because I feel like it, man. This is awesome.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Special shout out to Mar. I know he's working tonight. I know Artie's working tonight and AO is working tonight as well. So it's good to be with you, man. But yeah, so just to get into it, week 4 in NFL. It was interesting to say the least. Special teams is taking a big hold around the NFL in regards to block punts across the league. Kickers making 70-yard field goals now with the special K balls now that they're getting the work in with now. Kickers that you would not have thought of been able to kick that far 5 years ago now are making 60-yard field goals with ease.
Yeah.
You know, so we're seeing that, and then some surprises in really the standings. Not really, obviously, we got through the week. We got through the weekend. We saw a 1-2-1 Cowboys team. I don't understand why they have a soccer or hockey record, but they're not good. Um, we will start with that game right there
Okay.
on the Packers and the Cowboys, man. Like, look, there is something not right with both teams. Um, and I will start with the Packers first. I I like Jordan Love, right? I think he's a good quarterback, but I think so much of what he does literally mimics Aaron Rodgers. But I don't see anything in him that says I'm Jordan Love on the field, right? And what I mean by that is what other than the playoff game he had against the Cowboys, what signature moment has he had in his career that you can say I am Jordan Love, I am not Aaron Rodgers, right? I am not Brett Favre, because that's who he looks like. I don't see anything in him that says I'm just Jordan Love, right? And I think you have to separate when you are making a mark, especially in a place like Green Bay, right? You have to make a mark that says, "Hey, this is me. This is my time." I'm not saying that it won't ever come, but I just haven't seen it yet. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he gets because they even broke down the way he throws the ball off the back foot, the way he lifts his heel up. It looks just like Aaron Rodgers. You know how Aaron Rodgers kind of like is a gunslinger when it
Yes.
comes to certain things. And I don't know what it is about the quarterback coaches in Green Bay, but they teach them all in the same mode. Uh, of course, Jordan Love last year or the year before last, they beat Dallas in Dallas. So I
Yes.
thought that was like coming out game. I thought, okay,
Mhm.
hey, he's finally arrived, but you
Right.
can tell, he's not at his peak yet, right? He doesn't have the full attention of the OC, and they couldn't stop each other. The 40-40 club. I never you
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
can't believe that was that many points put up 80 points in one game with two, especially with Dallas.
Right.
So I was actually happy to see Dallas score, and get some momentum, but man, the defense terrible. And then you had the story of Michael Parsons and Jerry
Yeah.
Jones, that whole drama fiasco,
It-
ordeal. And it was almost like as if they wanted to win the game for Micah so bad is that they forgot about defense, right?
Defense, yeah, and that's what it was. I mean, because they really didn't get any pressure on Dak. You know what I'm saying? Like, the defense was horrible. Like, I remember Corey Valentine. He was the same guy that in the I want to say it was the the wild card game against the Eagles, where Dallas Goedert caught a 10 and out on him at the 20-yard line and literally face smushed him for the next 20 yards. You know what I'm saying? And like you can hear, it's crazy because when they brought it back around, when they looped it back, you hear because Tom Brady called that game. And all you kept hearing Tom saying is stiff arm, stiff arm, stiff arm. And this is from the 20-yard line. He stiff armed him 3 times in the face. He stiff armed him at the 15, at the 10, and then at the 5 before he walked into the end zone.
Yeah.
But he was getting destroyed, right? And that's just that side. And then the other part of it is Dallas has the number 1 rated offense in the league and then have the 32nd top the 32nd defense in the league. Yeah. So they're the worst defense, the best offense and the worst defense. You know?
Yeah.
And like it's look, man, like the Cowboys are going to be what they are. I don't think, if anything, they'll be 8-9. And that's the feeling. I'm sorry.
8-1.
Well, they'll be 7-9-1. But I don't see them making 500. I don't, because it's just you're not going to be able to score 40 on every team. It's just not going to happen. Right. And then the fact that they don't really have a running game. You know, so as it gets colder and you have to go to Philly, you may have to go to New York again. You may have to go somewhere else where it's cold again. You're not going to be able to throw, right? So at that point, you have to use your running game. And Javonte Williams does okay.
Yeah,
but he's not a bell cow. You know what I'm saying? And then also they have Miles Sanders, but he's fumble. He turns over the ball too much.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm more disappointed because I understand that, you know, if we're being objective in this case, like Jerry making a stupid trade and sending Micah to Green Bay hurt the Cowboys, right? So I can't slight the defense or the players for their owner doing some jackass shit. I just, you know what I mean? It was just dumb, right? He has to get out of his emotions, but we're past that point now. I just feel like there's no way, there's no path to success on the football field with the Dallas Cowboys as long as Jerry is still in charge.
Now, Jerry said in an interview before the game that he keeps reverting back to the Herschel Walker trade he made.
That was 36 years ago.
Right, and how that made...
No one cares. No one cares about what happened in 1989, bro.
Yeah,
the league was different back then.
But he's trying to compare that to where I sacrificed one piece to get more pieces.
And no one cares. He doesn't have the coach.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? He doesn't have Jimmy Johnson.
Yeah, Barry.
That was Jimmy Johnson's baby.
Yeah.
He just wanted. He just all he did was approve the trade, and understand the financial leverage he had back then. Right, he does not have now, and the rules are different.
Yeah.
Right, and the parity in the league now is different than it was back then.
Yeah.
Right. There was, when you look back in the day, yes, you had some teams that were decent, but when you looked up, it was always in the late 80s, going into the 90s, it was always San Francisco, sometimes Minnesota, right? Washington, right? The Giants, and I'm talking about in the NFC, the back end of the 85 Bears going into 89 because they were getting older. At that point, you had those guys as well, but the league was different back then. The shit he's trying to do from 89 to now, you can't do that.
Yeah, and even from the marketing standpoint, because they just think they showed on the documentary that he signed with Nike, and nobody was doing that. Everybody was,
Yeah, nobody. Yeah, it's just different now.
yeah, and
And
other owners catch up to Jerry. Like everybody peeped the game now. It's like
right,
it's a whole
right.
different ball game
And
now.
technology, overall business, how GMs operate.
Yeah,
It's just it's a different game now. And I hate to say it, I mean, because you never want to disrespect your elder, but my man is just not in the game right now. He's just not, man. And it's not good for business. As much as I don't really care for Cowboys fans, he is like, he is the anchor around their neck, man.
yeah,
And I hate to even say it because even their fan base, even though it's funny making fun of them, they still like some of them are real. Like they'll talk to you and explain to you that yes, we understand that Jerry is the issue, but a lot of them they still drink that Kool-Aid.
oh yeah,
You know what I'm saying? To the point where they don't even see that, hey, why are you getting mad at other people for being successful when in reality it is your own owner that is keeping you from being happy?
right.
Don't blame other fans under no of other fan bases about that. It's your people, your own owners doing that. But that's neither here or there, man. All right, so obviously, we had that game, the Ravens and Chiefs game, man. Like, I'll say this about that game. I said it on a podcast last week that I did not trust the Ravens mentality in regards to, and this is another part of the conversation, the art of winning when we get later. They just their mentality, man. It's just like they front run. They have confidence, but it's misplaced because you haven't won anything. You have names, yes. You got Derrick Henry. You got Lamar,
Yep.
right? You got names on the defense, right? You got guys on the outside playing, receivers now. You know what I'm saying? You got guys.
Yeah.
But what have you accomplished? The only person that has accomplished something on that team currently is Lamar as a three-time MVP, right? Two-time MVP.
He should have won a third one, but they give it
a third one. But yeah, you haven't won anything, and you have to learn how to win. The coach himself hasn't won in 13 years, right? Mm-hmm. And it's weird because when you talk about attention to detail, you would think that John Harbaugh, as a former special teams coach, that he would be drilling that into these guys' brains. Like, when we get up, hey, focus on the small things that got you up and maintain it throughout the rest of the game. There's been so many times where they've been up and they keep losing leads. Like, even in this game, I'm not saying it was early in the game, they were up 7-3, and next thing you know, they're down 24-7.
Yeah, quick.
Yeah, quickly. And then, yes, I understand that they are kind of hurt on defense, but a lot of these times it's not about them being hurt, man. It's just that they're not good. You know what I'm saying? They had to bench Jair Alexander last week, right?
Yeah.
And then Marlon Humphrey had a horrible game on the outside.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's just there's something about the mentality there that is just not there, because this is not the Baltimore Ravens even style defense that we've all come to watch.
Right.
And just the brutality of them playing. You know what I'm saying? Defense. Anytime you would see the Ravens on the TV, you would hurt for the other team because they were that physical.
Right. I always look forward to Pittsburgh and Ravens play because you knew that was going to be a drag out fight, right? Yeah. On the field. Now it's like, they got Marlon Humphreys hurt. They got Raekwon Smith, Nate Wiggins, like these key guys.
Is out for the year on the IR. It's just, I don't know, man. It's bad. And then Lamar got hurt, and they don't know if he's going to be out for 3 weeks.
The body language on the sideline is like, all right, we'll just chalk this up. But it's almost like they were quitting. It's like, nah,
Yeah.
we good. Like but like I think they never really bounced back from the Buffalo game. I think that was like a big haymaker, them losing the way they lost. Because
but see,
they won because they thought they won.
But the thing is, though, that's one game. You have to compartment that's not an excuse. It's not, because if it was just that game, okay. But they've given up 40 points every game. That's not tied to just that one game. Their defense has been horrible every week.
Maybe they think they're arrived, but they haven't. Like maybe they think, okay, we're good, but we're not that good. Maybe they ain't had that reality check yet.
I just don't. I think this. I mean, I don't like to call for people's jobs, but I just sometimes a coach can stay somewhere too long, right? Yeah. And the message or the message and the people delivering the messages, maybe they're just tuned out, because even with Zach, they have a pretty new defensive coordinator, Zach Orr. He used to play there, linebacker.
Yep. Dread. Yep.
Yeah, but man, my man, he looks bad right now. And this, it'd be different if the Ravens weren't scoring. They turned the ball over a couple of times, yes, but they've been scoring. But that defense has been horrible. You know what I'm saying? And they can't afford to take another loss.
No, they're gonna be out.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Because if they do, if they lose this week, you know what I'm saying? I don't see how or because he'll be the one to go before Harbaugh does.
Yeah, Harbaugh gonna be there for the rest of the year.
Yeah, they'll get rid of Orr quickly. You know what I'm saying? So I just think right now, man, like, one, get healthy, right? Two, whatever you need to do to help those corners, because those corners have been they're like a rotisserie, man, like rotisserie chicken back there, man. They're getting people are just foaming at the mouth, ready to just kill them, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you got that. So then after that, man, like the Colts and Rams game, that was a good game. I watched it.
No, I got to get this out here. This is football 101. Please cross the line before you celebrate. Please, because you cost your team a touchdown and the ball slipped out of his hand. I know he almost caught it before it hit the back of the end zone, but that's like the number one rule, man. Like if I was the coach, I would have been hot. Like and then on top of that, you got a winning record right now, and you got Jones playing, better than what he did in New York. So it was like you got the momentum, and you pretty much had the game, until that, after that moment, it's like, okay, you made up, went back and scored, and you got a dog in the running back for the Colts,
Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, you got the pieces in his place, but just Matt Stafford was just too tough, man, too strong, man. He came back and won the game.
They played well. I mean, for where the Colts are at, they played very good. Daniel Jones as actually, look, man, like and this is a whole other subject. I still think Joe Shane and Brian Dable should be fired from the Giants. They should be gone. They should have been gone last year.
Yeah.
Because if he looks that well there, what the hell were you doing?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, were you just trying to tank him to make it seem like he was the problem? Because the two guys that you've let leave won the Super Bowl, and the other one's 3-1 now.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, there's something wrong there, but that's a whole other thing. But with the Rams, obviously, they rebounded from the week before when they lost. You know what I mean? When they really shouldn't have lost, but the Eagles would take the W.
Right.
Puka went crazy, 13 for 170. The defense is still good. Verse closed the game out for him. As far as the thing that's really is going to be telling for the Rams is really keeping Matt Stafford upright. You know what I mean? Because sometimes even when he got hit in the Eagles game, man, he looked like he was on the rope. You know what I mean?
But he's 37. He's starting to feel it.
Yeah, he looked like he was on the ropes, but I mean, they got a good team over there, man. It's just they got to stay upright, for the most part. I'm happy for the Colts. I'm happy, even though we used to make jokes about Daniel Jones, I'm happy that he's being able to resurrect his career over there in Indianapolis. And then for Shane Steichen, former Eagles guy, man, I'm happy for him as well to finally get off the side. I don't know what they're going to do with Anthony Richardson, man. Sucks, but hey, that's the name of the game, man. Like you don't get much time. You know what I mean? Right now, the NFL is, not for long, right?
Right. And I hope Davante Adams found a home. I hope we don't have to look at another team next year to figure things out. You know what I mean?
Yep. And then obviously, we'll hit it real quick. The Giants and Chargers game. I'm very disappointed for two reasons, really, right? Really, the media puts Justin Herbert into this wild place where he's supposed to be a top 5 quarterback or top 10. Is he a top 10 quarterback? You could probably say so. But at the same time, you should have beat the Giants. Jackson Dart's first start, you should have beat the crap out of him. Mm-hmm. For him to have that performance was horrible. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And that, for Justin to have that performance in New York was horrible, man. Like that was, I just gave him props the week before for his start to the season along with with Harbaugh helping him. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or Jim Harbaugh being his coach. My man is horrible, dude. He was horrible. He was horrible Sunday. He only threw for maybe 200 yards even.
Herbert, yeah. But I'm mad at the fact that what's his name? Jackson. I want to call him Jason, but Jackson Dart brought the energy, right? You need that out of a quarterback. You need that, and they believe in him. You can tell about it when they won at the end of the game. Him and the head coach are looking at each other and they scream each other's face.
Right.
But the only thing is you lost Malik Neighbors, right, on a freakish play.
They need to get rid of turf. They need, especially the turf that's in MetLife. Like I don't even want the Eagles to go up there and play them at all. I'd rather they not go there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because I just every year that turf claims at least 3 to 4 players.
Oh, it snipes them, yeah.
And it's not, and I hate to say it, okay, it's not. It's you don't want any player at any level to get hurt there, but it's always like the marquee guys that you see get hurt there. Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles there.
Yeah, playing for the Jets. Yeah,
right. I remember it was Jalen Johnson or no, it was Phillips from the Dolphins the year before.
Okay,
tore his ACL there and tore his Achilles. You know what I mean? It's like something there. They need to clean up. They need to clean that turf up, man.
I played on turf at Eastern Michigan before they built the new one with the gray grass or gray field.
Pellets,
It's like running on a flat carpet, bro. It's like running somewhere where you can't cut, and if you do cut, it's like your cleat gets stuck. You know what I mean? And it's like you got to really be careful. It's a fast pace, though. I mean, you can fly down the field, but if you make the wrong move or your ankle turn the wrong way, it's a wrap, bro. It's a wrap. So
yeah, and then so then you got that one, and then obviously the game, the 1 o'clock game that really should have been the 4:25 game in Tampa Bay, man. Like.
Yeah,
the Eagles and Bucks game, it was I'll start on the Eagles side. It was an uneven game to say the least. They came out the first half and destroyed Tampa Bay, but then they, to me, what it looked like to me, is that they decided to pretty much mail it in and get conservative the second half of the game. I don't necessarily like that because the difference is now, and we know it, everyone knows it, right? Guys don't play in the preseason.
Right.
Right. You have a brand new, even though Kevin Patullo has been there in the Eagles organization, he's still a brand new OC, right? And what I mean by that is it's different when you're sitting there and watching on the bench, right? And this is a basketball analogy, right? It's different when you've been sitting on the bench watching everyone else play and watching everyone else hoop, right? And you can critique, you can see things and give pointers, or you talk to the coaches, talk to your players, or whatever the case may be. But it's different when you actually get called to go in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, Patullo has to step up and call the plays.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Now you're the guy. And I just think that he's still getting used to that. You know what I mean? And along with that, the guys that are currently there, they didn't, like I said, they didn't play in the preseason. So if you don't have any preseason game, that's all you have is practice them against each other. Like your starters aren't playing in the preseason. Mm-hmm. So I believe as though there should be no reason for you to be conservative. Work all of these things out as you're going. You know what I mean? This is the time now, because you didn't get that time in the preseason with your starters.
Right.
If you know you got plays to call them. Be confident. You know what I'm saying? Because they had their foot on the Buccaneers' neck. It was 24-6. Yeah. Finish them when you got a chance to. That, you know what I'm saying? Finish them to the point where, okay, now I can work on this. Now, if I want to sub guys in and out to get my guys a breather because it was 100 degrees down there, you can do that. But finish the job first. It just seemed like they just got scared. I'm not going to say they got scared. I'm saying they got conservative.
Yeah, right. Yeah. One thing you don't want to do is let Baker Mayfield think he can win.
Yeah, he's not that good. He's okay, but he's not what everyone thinks he is.
Yeah,
because he showed it at the end of the game when he got picked.
Yeah, the rush, he was trying to do that miracle, get out the pocket, scramble like he did the previous week, and it worked. But this time, you playing against a secondary that's been well knit, been playing together since last year, and these young guys know how to, hawk the ball, get the ball in the air, and as you see, he tried to throw it over, but the amazing catch, there. So
Baker is Baker, man. He's going to be up and down. You know what I mean? But he's the right quarterback for that team, basically coming out of the Brady era that they had down there. But what I don't necessarily like, and I guess we'll talk about it now because we're already in that era anyway. This whole thing, even the bottom line at the end of the day is the Eagles won the game, right? Mm-hmm. But obviously what came out of that is this whole AJ Brown issue and all that case may be. I'll put it on the pod or Twitter account. I could care less about it. I mean, I'm just being, I don't care. I don't care that AJ, let his feelings be known that he wasn't being a part of the offense, because I saw it. You know what I'm saying? I trust my work. I trust my eyes. I trust what I saw. He's not wrong in his assessment, nor was he wrong in what he said. Mm-hmm. Right? People and we'll get to this one after this segment. Mm-hmm. People need to understand, like, people that are wired a certain way, when they've tasted success and they've worked, they put the work in. The prep, the attention to detail, the communication with their teammates, staff, other players, whatever the case may be, you expect a lot out of yourself. And when you've been doing this for years, right? The prep, the physical work, the film study, and all of these things, you expect to get the best out of yourself, right? In the drive you have, you expect no one is going to expect more out of you than you, right? Mm-hmm. So his frustration was from within, that he felt as though he wasn't allowed to show the best of himself. And that's understandable for a successful football player.
Yeah. It's almost like I want to contribute and I want to be welcome. At least give me a chance. Like, give me the ball.
I
But
mean,
when like you saying, when you're on the sideline, right, and you get in the game, you want to feel like you contribute to the win. You want to feel like you did your part. And here's the thing about a team aspect when it comes to football. Like, everybody's not going to get that shining moment every game. It's going to be either the running back or the receiver or the quarterback. It's not going to be always, unless you just one dimensional, unless you just have that one guy that's just the whole team. But with the team like the Eagles, man, you got Saquon, you got Jalen, you got Goddard, you got all these, quote unquote, I would say all pros on your squad, man. Yeah. And you're gonna have to just wait. Like, sometimes you're gonna get double teamed, sometimes you're gonna have to block a one game, sometimes you're just gonna have to just play your role and maybe get like one or two targets. Like, you're gonna have to realize that. And it's not like you're not welcome, it's not like they don't looking for you. It's just like you got to fit the fact that you guys won. Like, this is a team effort. Together, everyone accomplishes more. And if your special teams is winning the game for you, root for your special teams. You know what I mean?
But the thing is, though, in AJ's mind, because he had a presser today, a lot of this stuff that was speculated wasn't even the case. You know what I'm saying? All he was really saying was like, yeah, he let his frustration out, which was valid because of the work he's put in and the communication he's had with his teammates and his coaching staff. Right? Should he have voiced it the way he did? Right? That's debatable, because who are we? And you need. This is a humbling thing I'm about to say. And I can say this from a different standpoint from being in the military, right? I can't sit there and say I've ever been an NFL player. I can't sit there and say that. But there is a connection to what I'm about to say about AJ. The rank I made it to in the Navy, in the entire Navy for 200, what are we on? No, let's say, what are we, 70, 75. In the 300 or 200 and, no, I take that back. 250 years.
Okay. Since Navy been in existence?
Right. Okay. Only 5, I am in the 5% of folks that have ever made it to be a chief petty officer.
Nice.
In the Navy, right? That's a 5%. 5% of all sailors have ever made that rank, right? AJ, and the correlation to this is AJ is in the top 2% of human beings to ever play in the NFL. And not only play in the NFL, take that and you scale that down even more, he might be in the 0.3% of folks that have played in the NFL, been an all-pro, and won a Super Bowl. You see what I'm saying? So his drive to win, his drive to succeed, I can relate to that.
And here's the thing: he is not a prima donna. Like, this is not a Terrell Owens. This is not a Bryant. This is not somebody that's going, or what's his name out of Pittsburgh? He got the brain. He got hit. What's his name? Nino Brown. I forgot his name out of Pittsburgh.
Antonio Brown.
Antonio Brown, yeah. So he's not one of those guys. He's going to sit there and he's going to be strategic in his message, like he did with that tweet. Like, he was reading a book on the sideline. Like, he's going to craftily put his feelings out there, but he's trying not to cause attention, right? And he's the type of, you don't see that a lot with receivers like the Stephon Diggs. Like, what he did in Buffalo when he's looking at Josh like, yo, give me the ball. And he had his arms spread out. So he's not going to do that, but he is going to let you know, like, look, man, I'm here. I'm ready to play. I'm ready to contribute, and that's good for Philadelphia, right? For the temperament and the team aspect they got going on. That's good, But let's see what happens next week, right? If he's still going to get the ball thrown. I know him and Jalen talk. They have to talk, right? I know they got to be on the either getting the call, hey man, what do we got to do different, or what I got to do, to get open, whatever they got to do, what scheme.
Yeah.
That comes up with, but you could tell that, AJ Brown, like you saying, in his defense, he just wants to contribute, right? He's not trying to be, an attention getter, but he also trying to let the organization know, look, I'm here.
But the difference is,
him, like he don't want to be there and all that, but that's not the case.
The difference is though, what hypes it up is, and it's got to be said, what hypes it up is these radio stations, and it's really just one. It's not even so much 97.5 anymore up there. It's pretty much WIP. Look, man, and it sucks to even say it because you got guys that actually played NFL football in Philly. Seth Joyner, guys that I grew up watching Seth and Hugh Douglas, man, like, dog, like, understand something. And this is the weirdest thing. I don't understand why it's this way, because we're in a different age of just being able to communicate with you can DM if their DMs are open.
Mm-hmm.
You can DM your favorite player and ask him a question.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That doesn't mean he's going to answer. He probably won't, but that doesn't mean you can't. These guys work for a sports radio station in Philadelphia where they always have some type of or some Eagles player on the radio station every week.
You got access, yeah.
You have access. Thank you. That's the point. That's what bothers me. Right? It's not them doing their job. It's the fact, the lack of just logic and common sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have the means to be. You played for the Eagles. It's not like it's one of the other co-hosts there that never played a sport in the city. You played for the Philadelphia Eagles.
Right.
It's not like you were a garbage Eagle either.
Right.
You're Seth Joyner. Pick up the phone. If you have something, and it's weird. I just think there's just like a lack of respect for the other human being. Like a guy that played, he's in the 1% with you because you played.
Right.
Pick up the phone. You tweet. Seth Joyner tweets. Hugh Douglas tweets. You mean to tell me you can't access AJ and ask him a question?
Right.
If you can't even get to him through the team. Right. Hey, I'm Seth Joyner. DM him.
And I bet you AJ Brown will listen.
Hold up. If you're really that concerned about him, because I read some of the comments that Hugh and Seth said. If you're really that concerned about him, pick up the phone, call him, or have someone find a way to get his number, or you text or you DM him. But what you don't do is go start then speculating about some shit that you don't even know because you didn't reach out. And it's obvious to see it because it just bears it out.
Yeah. Now, to your point, man, like I think some of these former players, they get on these radio shows or they get
annoying, and
they get caught up to what someone who never played in their perspective is like, oh yeah, they got a point. But you realize like that like you're saying that 2% or less than 2% who make it in the NFL, that's a fraternity. Them guys stick together, man.
Right. You were in a fraternity. Thank you. You were in a fraternity with them. You played before them. So it's hard for me to believe that you don't have the access to reach out to them.
Right.
It's hard for me to believe that. You know what I mean? So then now, because you started pushing some narrative that there's something else deeper than that. Bro, if you really feel that way and you're really so worried about his mental health, reach out to him.
Right.
Reach out. Don't do it because you want to get ratings for your fucking your radio station that's fucking no one fucking cares about. To be honest with you, like I stopped listening to them before I left home.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's just like I hate the debating, not like debating of trying to make things bigger than what they really are when they really aren't. When you have the access or the ability to get access to these players.
Yeah. Yeah. Because they're right there in the book. They're right there at the link, man. Every time. You can tell.
You can go to NovaCare.
Yeah.
You can drive. You can Uber. You have means to do it, but you just don't because you want to push narratives. You want negative drama around the team. That has been the most successful era that the Eagles have ever had.
Yeah.
You're gonna go and then let's put the scenario out there, right? Let's say that and he wants to stay. He said that today, right? Mm-hmm. But let's say that he did leave. You know who to be to blame for that? The radio station. Not him. Not the player, not his teammates, not the fans, them, because they are so toxic.
They are
very, and I've never just like, dang, man, can y'all just shut the fuck up for a chance?
And it's the fans too. They don't censor the fans. They don't put a muzzle on some of these fans. Some of these fans get on there and the first thing they do is they're complaining about a win or we should have did this and we should have that. And I think as a producer of WIP, you got to know how to cut some of that stuff off because that stuff is contagious. If you're spilling negativity on these radio shows and talking about what they could have done, this, that, and the third, then it gets into your mind, right? As a radio personality, and then as a former player, you start to think of some of these guys, some of the stuff they're saying, like, you know what? Maybe they do have a point.
It's nasty because then they start and then it's a chain reaction to it, right? Because this happens. You got the doomers, the people that the doom scroll through social media. They don't read, they don't comprehend, and they just take whatever it was, that 5 to 10 second clip, and they doom scroll it and make it into something that's not there. And that's just that portion of the team, portion of the fans. And you got the Eagles, and these are different. These are a different breed. They're not Eagles fans. IGGLES. Those are the fans that don't necessarily Eagles fans that don't necessarily like the black players on the team. And I'm just going to be honest about that. That's a fact. It's not a joke. I just had it. It wasn't overly disrespectful back and forth with the Eagles fan, but and I'll say this, it was just they just have it feel like they're on whippets. I don't know if you know what whippets are, but it's just like it's almost like they need something to get high.
Okay, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? So my man says, what did he say? He says, Hurts doesn't win, the Eagles win, right? And it was like, but it was all in connection with, he was really a Carson Wentz fan.
Okay,
right? They didn't let he couldn't let that marriage go.
Got it.
Right? And the thing was, he's like, the Eagles win, Hurts doesn't win, right? So I was like, okay, so okay. Good job. Who does Hurts play for? You know what I mean? Like, so if Hurts plays for the Eagles, that would mean in tow that Hurts won.
Right.
And then he got mad. He was like, "Well, goodbye." And so he blocked. He blocked the count. He blocked the pod account. But I'm like, but that's the type of fan you're dealing with. Like, that's the Eagles. You know, that's that group.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But it's neither here nor there, man. But yeah. So to finish up the AJ thing, but it's nasty in regards to how the media takes it and it just blows it out of perspective. You know what I'm saying? And then you get it. It goes viral to Emmanuel Acho. I can't stand his. He's a jackass. You know what I'm saying? And it goes to ESPN and then it goes to Shannon and Ocho and all them, and they put their spin on it. You know what I'm saying? And AJ's already apologized for what he's done, so I take him at his word, man. He's a solid guy, man. But I'm just at a point, man, where some things are just becoming. At this point, and I would advise others to do the same. Trust your eyes. You know what I'm saying? You know your team. You've been in the trenches watching all of these. You know, regardless of your affiliation, whether you're a Bills fan or Bengals fan or a Cowboys fan, when you see shit like this happen, especially when it comes to the media, trust your eyes, trust your word. You ain't dumb. Well, a good 95% of you aren't dumb. But trust your work, trust your eyes, trust what you know, trust what you read, the facts. Because they're all, and again, those facts are readily available on Google, StatMuse, where you get your stats for your teams, whatever the case may be. But the information is available. Just go get it. You don't need Stephen A to tell you. You don't need Shannon and Ocho to tell you. You don't need Weird Acho to tell you. You know what I mean? You don't need these people to tell you. Just go get the information. It's hey man, it's right here.
Yeah.
It's right here, dude. Just go get it. You know what I mean? It takes 5 minutes. It will take a lot of pain out of you by just doing the research, man. You know what I'm saying? It's right there. And it stop you from getting cooked on it, social media as well. Just do it.
Yes.
Yeah. So, all right, man. So yeah, that was the week 4 preview. Now I wanted to get into the second portion was the art of winning. And I know people are probably wondering, like, what the hell is he talking about? Basically, what I mean by that is winning is a process, right? And just let me go on for a little bit about this. Winning is a process, and it happens in parts, right? You got the first thing you have to have is you need a group. You need a strong group of people from different backgrounds who all can bring different things to the table, but are all there for the same purpose, which is winning, right? And success and building a good culture, right? So you establish that, right? You get your team, right? Whatever sport it is, you get your team, put it together, get a good coach, whoever you think the good coach is, the good players are, you get them and put them together. Then you have to go through the process of, because you're going to lose, right? Now I use as an example was the 2021 Eagles, right? And the reason I say that is because the year before that, the 2020 season, they, went through the whole rigmarole with Carson Wentz at the end of his, his tour with the Eagles. You know what I mean? He was coming back with the whole thing from the Foles situation. They drafted Jalen Hurts. So that was another issue. But, Wentz didn't play good in 2020, throughout the year. And then they benched him and went and got or they benched him and played Hurts at the end of the 2020 season, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the 2020 or the 2021 season was Jalen's first year as a full-time starter, right? So now you got your building blocks there. It was his pretty much his tryout year to see if he was going to be the future quarterback of the Eagles, right? So they don't start out well. Him and Devontae are, they drafted Devontae as well, but they drafted him in the first round that year before, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, or that summer, actually that spring they drafted him
After you won the Heisman, yeah.
right after he won the Heisman. So they got Devontae, they got Jalen, you got Miles Sanders at that time who was there as well, Goddard. I think Ertz was still there that year as well.
Before he went to Washington, yeah.
Right. So you have building blocks there. They had just drafted Jordan Davis as well. Right. No, I'm sorry, they drafted him that spring after they lost to the Buccaneers. But you have building blocks, right? So they started off the year, I think they were 4-6, 4-6 or 4-7, right? But you had your building blocks. You know what I mean? And then they ended up, as they got through that season, getting better. The line that was cohesive. You had some blocks on defense. They still had a pretty young Slay at that time. A couple other guys there. BG was there. But they were building the process of learning how to win. You know what I'm saying? So they make the playoffs that year. They get killed by the Brady Buccaneers down to Tampa, right? So they made the playoffs, but hey, it's still there. It's Jalen's first year as a starter, right? So they go into the draft. They get Jordan. They get what is it? No, I think they did this the same year. No, it was right. They get Jordan Davis, right?
They get Carter, right?
They got Carter too. Yeah. He might have came the year, but if I'm wrong, Eagles fans, y'all know y'all correct me, you get me right. So then they trade for AJ.
Mm-hmm.
That in that same draft they trade for AJ, right? So now you are building something that's tight. You know what I mean? And they still got some guys on defense. You know what I mean? But they go to the Super Bowl, right? Go to the Super Bowl again, but now you have the nucleus of what your future is. Right. They get to the Super Bowl, they lose. Right. Mm-hmm. But again, that's a part of the process of the art of winning. You know what I mean? You have to, sometimes you're going to have setbacks. The defense didn't play well in the Super Bowl, obviously because of Gannon, but they didn't play well, right? They go into the next season, they go 10-1 starting off, lose their final 6 out of 7, right? So again, due to not having the right defensive coordinator, they didn't have Vic Fangio. They had a Fangio-like guy running it, you know what I mean? But it wasn't Vic. They lose 6 out of 7, lose to Tampa Bay now, this time with Baker in the playoffs, right? But again, it's a process of learning how to win, learning how to succeed, learning how to work with each other, learning how to go through adversity, right? So then they go get Saquon. They get a couple other guys on defense, right? They build the nucleus, but again, they're still building. And people need to understand, when you're building something great, it's not always going to be the way you want it. You're not always going to get the wins the way you think you should get the win.
Right.
You know what I mean? But again, it's okay to build as long as you're building towards something that is great. And that's what the Eagles have done. You know what I mean? And then guess what? They build, they learn how to win, they learn how to they have the attention to detail to learn how to communicate, learn how to game plan, learn how to prep, right? Learn how to put their foot on somebody's neck and stomp and choke the other team out. Lo and behold, they win the Super Bowl, right? Again, it's still a work in progress because when you win, when people say when you know you're going to win, guess what happens? Other teams start to come in and try to pick pieces from them, right? They lost Josh Sweat, right? They lost Milton Williams. They lost Kellen Moore, right? As the OC, he went to be the head coach down in New Orleans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Lose pieces. So guess what? You still have to build again. You're still going. It's a continuous build,
right?
All the meanwhile, you're still trying to maintain what you currently have, and you're learning the process of winning. You know what I mean? Again, so you got to bring in Patullo. Yes, like I said earlier, he was on the bench. Now he's in the game. Now he has to perform. So it's going to take a little bit of time for him to be in that role, to feel comfortable to be in that role.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And what I'm saying is, as fans, you have to ignore what other fans are saying. If you already know what's going on with your team, you have to ignore what the media is saying, because they're not even as tapped in as you, because you're in it every day. You may not be in the room, you may not be in NovaCare, but you watch the games over and over and over. You know what I'm saying? It's YouTube right there. You know, you got NFL Plus. You got time. You got things and ways to watch the game. No one's saying you need to be a fucking film aficionado. I don't know. I always recommend fans be that shit. Just, your team. You're smart enough to know your team. You know what I mean? But the thing is, as fans, I think a lot of fans are, they're not used to winning, right? So at the drop of a first negative thing they might see, or they feel as though it's negative, they all make, oh my God, it's back to 22, 23. Like, bro, shut up. You know what I'm saying? It's not that. They've already proven, because they've already laid the line, the nuggets out there, bro. They've showed you that they've bounced back from that and won the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Trust your team. Trust what you see. Trust that you have a winner in front of you. And trust that they are doing the best that they can, because they've proven to you that they can do the best they can, and trust them. Understand that winning is a process. Don't be the fan. And I'm not telling people how to fan, but I will tell you, please stop doom scrolling. Please stop with it's nasty. It's what do you think? I'm sorry. I know I went.
No. I hear you, because when Nick Sirianni first got there, that press conference he had, the way he was talking, social media ate him up. Like, and you got to give credit to Jeff Lurie for understanding that it's going to take time, and believing in the head coach, believing in Jalen Hurts. You see the debacle going on in Dallas. Like, yes, Jerry Jones is sticking with his guys, but you don't believe it because of the stuff he's doing. You know what I mean? It's, at the end of the day, Jerry Jones is all about him. But with Jeffrey Lurie, he's like, okay, we're going to make this happen, right? And even the whole mantra of trust the process with the Philadelphia 76ers, and even with the Eagles, right? You can tell, like, it's like, okay, we're just maybe one play away, or we one quarter away, or we one, OC away. We were one thing away from winning. And when they went to the Super Bowl and they lost, that one play where Jalen Hurts fumbled, it was like, okay, if that didn't happen, we know we could have won that game, right?
Right.
And then on top of that, you got pieces that you need to have, right? So thank God that the Giants said, okay, we don't need Saquon, but we don't see what your market is, see what your value is. And then, Eagles, they got a nugget. Like you said, they got a big golden nugget in Saquon. And Saquon came in there with vengeance, right? Now that Rome wasn't built in one day, now that you got the Roman Empire thriving, right? It's going to be people coming in trying to throw darts, or somebody might weasel in, right? But a lot of that is social media. So one thing the Eagles got to do right now is stay together and not let the outside noise. Dennis Rodman said this. He said, "Man, when I play basketball, that's the easy part." He said, "I get paid to deal with you in Meffers, right?" He said, "You all social media." He said, "That's what I deal with." And he was saying that because he said, "What we do is easy. It's second nature. They've been doing it since they were little kids, right?" Dennis Rodman was a rebound specialist, right? Jalen Hurts is a quarterback. He's a professional quarterback. AJ Brown. The list goes on. Saquon Barkley is a top tier running back. They could do that in their sleep. It's dealing with the outside noise. That's what they get paid for, man. Like, I know in these contracts they have incentives, right? They have, if they get X amount of yards, they get this amount, right? And then you got the guarantee money. But these, you got to realize, like, the process is not just with these big names. It's also with these guys who are like the third or fourth rep. Like, these guys are just running down special team, the scout team, like the practice squad. Like, all this stuff plays a part. Even the staff, the medical staff, right? It's from owner all the way down to the last guy in the janitor room cleaning up the towels. I mean, they have a well-knit. This is the first time in NFL history I've seen a bodyguard for a head coach, bro. Right? Yeah. Like, that doesn't happen, right? But that shows the family aspect what the Eagles have. And if they continue to block out this, this juggernaut, what we call social media now, they will be just fine. And what stays in the locker room stays in the locker room. And I know you know about that because you play basketball, bro. Like, it's always like us versus the world. That's the mentality that every team has.
And the thing is, though, they've won 95%. And this is what I don't understand, because, again, this information is readily available to you it's in your palm of your hand, right? Jalen Hurts has won 90, or the Eagles, because I don't want the Whippets boy to come out. They have won 95% of Jalen Hurts' last 21 starts. That's 20 out of 21. You don't need more proof that winning isn't the most important thing here. Mm-hmm. You don't need outside hate to drive. You don't need to doom scroll. You've won 20 out of the last 21 games with this guy as your quarterback. This whole thing of, oh my God, this is going horrible, this needs to change. Give it time. They didn't play in the preseason. This isn't 2015 when quarterbacks and running backs and receivers played two quarters and then they didn't play. They're not playing in the preseason. They're doing inter squad practices with the Dolphins and the Jets and the Falcons or wherever the case may be, but they're not playing in real games. That's why everything looks so slow coming out. That's why it looks sporadic, because they're not in real game motion right now. They're still. This is really. Even though the games count, this is really their preseason.
Yeah.
These 4 games are really their preseason. So you should see gradual improvement as these weeks go on. And then on top of it, they're going to have in a couple weeks a bye week. So whatever progress they do have is going to be halted for a week, because two.
As a fan of the NFL, a fan of football, period, and especially NFL, I don't get excited about the first 4 or 5 weeks of the NFL, because when a team gets hot towards like November, and then you see teams winning, you're like, well, how did this team get in the playoffs? It's because they are meshing and clicking at the right time, right? Because you got to think about, you got people getting hurt throughout this, beginning of the season. You got rookies who have to make that adjustment from college to NFL, and that's a big jump, right? And then you got to think about, the chemistry of these guys. You might get some trades going on, right? And you might get that quarterback that finally sees the game in slow motion, or you might get that running back that sees, and then you might get that defensive corner, like, okay, I finally got the defensive scheme now. Like, and these guys are constantly, making wrinkles because they watch film, right?
And this might not even be the team that you you
Right.
have after week 8, because like I said, the trade deadline is coming up.
Right.
Might not even be the same. This might not even be the finalized roster you have. So to close this out on this topic, man, like, look, man, I'm not gonna go through the whole thing with the Aaron Rodgers just relax thing. It was just like, look, understand that this is a process. Winning is a process. As a fan, be comfortable understanding, and this is not just for Eagles fans, but if you are a fan of a team that is winning and they're winning at a big clip or just a consistent winning basis, learn how to be comfortable, man. Like, how, look, I'm saying? Be grateful. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? Because the Commanders haven't won anything in 34 years, 33 years. The Cowboys haven't won anything in 30 years. The Detroit Lions have never won a Super Bowl. Jacksonville has never won a Super Bowl. Carolina's never won a Super Bowl. The
Right.
Buffalo Bills have never won a Super Bowl, even though they're winning. They haven't won at the highest level.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The Dolphins haven't won a Super Bowl in 52 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, the Cardinals have never won a Super Bowl. The Chargers have never won a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
The Minnesota has been to the Super Bowl 4 times and hasn't been back to the Super Bowl in 50 years.
Yeah, Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars, you know what I'm saying? Like, the Falcons had a 28-3 lead and lost the Super Bowl.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? There are so many other worse situations and fan bases scenarios that you could be in than the one that you are in right now. Don't, cherish it while it's here, right? Because there are generations of families and friends that have never seen their team win anything.
Think about it. Think about it like this: New England Patriots was ruling the AFC, right? Now look at them; they're at the bottom of the barrel. Like, it could be going just like that,
right? Yeah, cherish it while you have it, because it's not guaranteed to come back around again, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, you would have thought, like, and I keep going back to it, you would have thought that Buffalo hasn't won an AFC championship in 32 years, right? The Vikings haven't won an NFC championship in 50 years, right? The Detroit Lions haven't won it, and they've been to the NFC championship game twice in what? Since it's been invented, like 60 years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Dolphins haven't been to an AFC championship game in 32 years, or something like that. And they haven't been to a Super Bowl in 41 years.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many other instances of failure out there that you can't just take the time to cherish what you have as an Eagles fan or a Bills fan or Chiefs fan. If I really don't feel sad for the Cowboys fans, but that's neither here or there. and obviously you see what's going on in New York with the Giants and the Jets. You know what I'm saying? But that's neither here or there, man. Like, the art of winning. Learn how to be comfortable with a winner. Learn how to cherish what you have. Because again, you don't know where it's going to come. You don't know what's going to come back around. It could be gone at the drop of a dime, right? Because right now we even see what's going on with the Ravens. They've been right there. Now look, they're in a possibility that it may not ever happen. You know what I mean? And they have a 2-time MVP, and that wasn't even guaranteed enough to get them to the Super Bowl. Right. So be grateful, man. So the art of winning. That's it. All right, man. This is the Because I Feel Like It podcast. We're not going to sign off right now, but just, hey, look, follow us on Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Like, Because I Feel Like It podcast. Hit the follow button there. We are on IG, our Instagram. We are on Facebook as well. Follow us on our YouTube page as well, because I feel like it pod is right there. There's five guys that are on this pod. Myself, Nelson, Artie, Marv, and Ao. Like I said, those three are working right now, so they couldn't be on tonight. But we got so much content to push out to y'all, man. It might just be one of us coming on at a time. It might be the whole group coming on at a time. You never know. But we got a lot of stuff to share with y'all. You know, pretty much myself, and sometimes Nelson jumps in. You know, because I know Nelson the workaholic as well. But you know, for me, pretty much, you know, if you don't see Nelson posting on Twitter, then you'll see Nelson posting on Instagram. You know what I mean? But if the most time you see anything coming out on Twitter, it's probably me because it's at my desk. You know what I mean? Because I work. You know what I mean? So I have it on my desk, whatever the case may be, or I have my phone around me. But it's been a pleasure rocking with y'all, man. Nelson, it's been a pleasure working with you, man, and being with you this evening. We may probably jump on as a group. We may see what's going on. We might jump on maybe Saturday evening, something like that. Do something, you know what I mean, right before this, the preview the games for week 5. But everybody, man, y'all have a good evening. Nelson, you have a good evening, man. Hey, and one more time, fuck the Cowboys fans. They are getting on my nerves. And y'all need to say fuck them too, yo. They are annoying as fuck. Dude.
I don't like them, man. Trust me.
You know what I mean? They are like almost recovering addicts. They sound like they always sound like they're learning to become sober because they finally see what Jerry is, but then they go right back and start shooting up again, and they start saying wild shit to get money off of Twitter. You know what I mean? Like, in whatever. I mean, and I will say this because I don't want to be a dickhead. I do respect the content creators that they do have, because that is a tough thing. That is, people don't really understand like the preparation and all that it takes into doing that stuff, and that's your own personal time that you're taking out to do something you love. I will never take that from anyone. You know what I mean? Even though it still might, I might not particularly care for your fucking team. It's still something you love, and you would rather someone do something they love than do something that might hurt them. You know what I'm saying? So without that said, man, it's because I felt like a podcast. As Nelson Smart, man. Hey, we out of here. Y'all have a good evening.